Oh, yeah, I have a story to tell, but so do the actors, and so does wardrobe and special effects and makeup and set design. The cast and crew that have come together to tell the story of The Stray, they're all going to tell the story in their own way, and the beautiful thing is that we can come together and tell this story the way it needs to be told. My job as a director is like a choreographer to bring this ballet, this dance together in a way that will be beautiful and compelling and live up to the truth.
I'm Allison. I play the role of Linda. Linda is coupled with Mickey, who's the love of her life, and they're about to move in and embark on what Linda thinks is the next chapter of her life. But the story is about reincarnation. It's this love story that spans time and generations.
Hi, I'm Eddie Daniels, and I am playing the Angel of Death in The Stray. And I'm so excited to finally be doing a project with Tom Ford. Very excited. And in particular, to be playing the Angel of Death in The Stray. Yes, and I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a bad character. I just like to connect souls.
Hello, my name is Gene Loveland, actor for the movie The Stray. I play Howard, the neighbor. He's dated Michelle, Mickey, and written and directed by Tom Ford. The Stray is a thriller. It's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. Tom and I started talking about it quite a few months ago.
Hi, my name is Andy Buelna, and I play Cecilia in The Stray, Cecil. I really like the story for its accuracy and sense of reality, but what's really going to mess with your mind is the sense of the supernatural.
My name is Mark David Preciado. Working assistant director on The Stray, and I'm also a filmmaker myself. And I think one of the reasons I got this job is because my huge film knowledge, encyclopedia of movies. And so I know the language of film, and I felt that this was a great project to work on and be a part of.
The screenplay is amazing. The screenplay is written by Tom Ford. It's absolutely amazing because there's not a monster per se. You know, it's not like there's no monster in this story, but there's monsters. The monsters in this movie, The Stray, are the ones that reside deep inside, and all these characters are extremely human. You get to know them, and you can relate to them.
Oh, I love horror movies. Horror movies are my favorite. They just, when you find the right story that scares you, you know, you get that reaction of being scared, and it's something immediate, you know, that only horror can really do.
It's just consequences that separate you from being a potential monster in this movie. It could be anyone. It's something in the mind or the psyche that flips and breaks and pushes people to the edge. Then your brain just goes, what? Like, how can these things happen between two people who are so just into each other? But it does, and it happens in The Stray.
After the trial, she kind of turned a corner. She was remanded out to Camarillo State, west end of the valley, and I went out there to see her a couple times. You know, every couple of weeks for a while. I don't know, I was thinking maybe I'd write a book about the whole mess or something. Just never able to follow through. And that place was a tough gig.
It's also the slow build-up, you know, and the suspense. It's not just being scared and jump out of your seat. It's the slow buildup. It's the cringe when you're in your seat and you're grabbing the armrest and you don't want to watch, but yet you do. And Hitchcock was a master at that. So I love his film so much. When I read the script for this film, The Stray, some of the elements that came to mind were throwback to the old classic horror movies. Elements of Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, parts of The Shining. This movie, I think, has those elements thrown into them. So I think this movie will be a great throwback to that era of great horror movies.
Like old school horror films. This movie, this project, is so scary to the core. Like, if you've seen The Exorcist, you would swear that the film it was filmed on was evil, that there was just evil incarnate in the whole process. And it's based on a true story. So is The Stray. And it has that same essence, that same feeling that the spirit knows that this film is being made about it and what it did and what it continued to do over time. And I think that energy just kind of transcends the whole project, and it gives me the chills just speaking about it. Like
it's a psychological thriller. It deals with reincarnation.
There's a lot more to it than that. I mean, that's a simple answer, and that's the difference.
I never gave much thought to reincarnation in the past, but since we've been talking about this and working through this project, it really opened my mind to it, that this can't be all there is. And so with my background work and studying and reading about it, it's been quite fascinating. So I'm really excited to make this movie.
I've never seen a horror movie that has a love story like this one. And that's something really, really unique about this movie. And the love story part of it is very touching, and also part of what makes it so scary, because it feels so real.
Oh yeah, The Stray does have a love story in it, if Mickey's even capable of love. Is Mickey gonna see this? No.
Another great thing about this movie that appeals to just about everyone is the wonderful sex scenes. But these are hot sex scenes. These are like beautifully shot, because Tom, also because he's such a brilliant photographer, an amazing cameraman, he gets the most amazing shots, the most amazing angles, just beautiful. So the sex scenes, that's just palpable and make it extremely hot. Extremely hot and nutty.
There's a lot of attention to detail in this production, but these are the details we don't always want to admit to.
Film is not your normal slasher film or your normal horror flick. It's got a nice love story in it as well. It's well written, which is what's attracted me to it.
So what is it that invests you more into a film? Is it the characters? Is it to get to know them intimately, on a very personal level, so that you can feel for them and relate to them? Or is it perhaps a mission, maybe a life and death mission? Well, The Stray has all this and more.
And a lot of it's reality.
The shit's real, and fact is stranger than fiction.
Because they are deliberate and calculated and anything but irrational. Their rationality, and you gotta get this, is not our rationality. That's the key.
It's real, and which is more scary than make-believe sometimes. And
Did you feel that? Like a breeze? You see?
that's the kind of shit I'm talking about right there. Did you see that? Feel it? Ew. Jesus. You know, in choosing a film or a script, you have to find something in it that you can relate to. And everyone in this film, the characters, the crew, we all relate to this on some level.
We all have done stuff that we're not proud of. This is really dark shit.
So I know it's going to ring true to a lot of people. They're going to see a little bit of themselves in each one of these characters. It's it's a universal story.
You might see yourself in some of these characters, but are these the things you really want to see?
Really great Hitchcockian camera work in this movie that's going to add to the suspense and the excitement. Is it really the end? You don't know. You have to think about it. You have to wonder. Reincarnation just goes on forever, like love. It's a love story. It's also a horror story.
The Stray is mostly about reincarnation and relationships, but mostly about reincarnation. Souls that live lives through time, through the things that they repeat, the things that they learn or don't learn, the cycles, the cyclical nature. Sometimes evil is so strong, evil is so strong that it transcends whatever time it is thrown into.
The project has some great talent attached to it, starting with Tom Ford, writer-director. I've worked with him before, and so I see his talent there. He has a great eye, being also a photographer. He can get the framing just perfect, and the composition of shots. He knows where to put the camera.
We've got a great cast, a great crew.
I didn't have a big part in this movie. I didn't last that long.
The beautiful thing about indie films, indie crews, is that everyone is trying so hard. Everybody works so hard. Long hours. The good news is we have a talented director who's taken a lot of time and energy into this project, and he's taken also a lot of time and effort in choosing who he's working with.
There's an amazing crew attached. Tom gravitates to amazing people. He always finds and brings out the best.
So not only is this a great story, but we've got everything's ready to go. We've got, we have so much already. We already have 3 years of work behind this project. We have wonderful production value here, and the importance of that it just cannot be underestimated. Everyone, from the crew to the actors, everyone here is dedicated. They're on point. They're ready to go, and we're just really excited about this film.
Now, no one's even spoken yet about the music, the artists and musicians that have come together to submit music for The Stray, to write music for The Stray. The score is beautiful. The score is compelling. The score is poignant. And it also tells the story in the way that only music can. And it's going to enrich the whole experience of The Stray. I can't wait for you to see and to hear and to feel this story in only the way that cinema can bring a story to you.
So this amazing crew has found these amazing locations. The house that we're filming in is so incredible, and it's old, and it's linked to the history of what happened in the movie. So it's already a living, breathing monument to the story of the film.
Oh, stop right there. I remember.
One of the great things also about making this film is that we're using some actual locations. Tom has taken great care into choosing the locations, the car that we're using in it. It's a 1967 Dodge. The house that we're filming in is 107 years old.
The same goddamn address. There's another crime. A very similar crime. Same goddamn crime.
The Camarillo State Mental Institution that we're filming at is creepy. Things have happened that hair standing up on the back of the neck, like weird things happen when you're shooting there. They say it's haunted. I believe it's haunted. And it's also linked to the reality of the story.
Filming in the actual hospital where all this took place is quite scary. And again, going back to reincarnation, and there's more to than what we are experiencing right here, right now. It's seeing and hearing things while during the making of it was sent shivers up my spine.
The making of this movie, the locations that they've chosen are just perfect for the story, just perfect. The Camarillo State Hospital, which all the staff there insist it's haunted.
It makes for quite a hair-raising experience, I will tell you that.
So, oh my gosh, like this is such a no-brainer. It's going to be so good, and it's going to be so scary, and you really are going to have to attend this film with nerves of steel, because it's going to get under your skin and creep you out and stay with you and stick with you and haunt your dreams.
There's scenes in The Stray that are out of your worst nightmare.
Although the Eagles deny it, a lot of people swear that the Hotel California song is about that hospital. You know, you can check out, but you can never leave. The house that we're shooting in is over 100 years old. And this story is, by the way, inspired by true events.
You know, it's taken from a true story.
It is about reincarnation. If you're a bad person in one life, you're supposed to come back as something worse. But what if you don't? What if you come back as the same person? Do you fight that evil, or do you become that evil, or how does it work? It's going to ask all these questions, and there's all these sort of reality things going into the movie that's going to really add to the organic feel of the story and the excitement of the movie.
You hear it all the time in the news. You know, a man freaks out and eats off a guy's face. It was like, boom, just it took a second for his brain to crack. And any of us could be that far from tipping over the edge ourselves. We all have dark thoughts. We all have maybe dark fantasies. We all have these moments.
I mean, haven't you ever wondered how the people that do these sort of things, what it is that gets them to a place where suddenly, shit, something like this is the right decision?
You know, like we get these crazy little notions sometimes that maybe most of us can kind of just, you know, blow out of our mind or just erase as like nonsense. But what if that thought took hold? What if that took hold and started to control your actions and control what you were doing, and suddenly the you thought you were just completely disappears and craziness ensues? What if that thought was a recurring thought from lives past? What if that thought had been ingrained in your brain like a groove, a deep groove in a record that plays over and over and over again? What if that thought, that groove in the record of your mind, is so strong now that there's no denying it, there's no controlling it, there's no escaping it? All you can do is surrender to it. That is the circumstance of The Stray. And that's why The Stray is such a remarkable film, because it shows in the most horrific way how it could happen to you.
Now, I think this movie is going to scare the pants off of a lot of people.
You know, this role of Howard it's very challenging, and that's what drew me to it. He goes through so many emotions. Goes from being completely in love with Mickey to losing, the most important thing that he's ever had in his life. Her. It's been quite a challenge, and I tend to dive into my acting roles quite deeply, and so it's been quite a emotional roller coaster for me as well. A lot of stories, a lot of film challenge an actor to go through a broad range of emotions, and you just hope you can do that right, bring it to life, and that's definitely what I'm trying to do here for Howard, because with him, I'm portraying him as a young man, and then into being an old man, and how his life has changed, what things in his life have changed him from being that young man with a real zest for life to being this old man who's let's just put it this way, it hasn't been easy for Howard at all. When he was young, he was full of virile, full of fight in his life, and life, you get tired of fighting, and now at this an old age, he's got to fight the hardest he's ever fought. Can he do it?
The Stray captures these ideas of reincarnation and these ideas of not just reincarnation, but that souls are attracted to each other again and again and again. There's this beautiful love story happening throughout the movie, and their connection is so strong, and they're definitely bonded together. But as strong as that bond is, the cycle of their reincarnation and their faith is even stronger. And I don't know, you'll have to see the movie. Can the depth of their love for each other break the cycle of death and murder that they've been caught in, or will it continue? You'll have to see.
Thank you.